it's my view that this matrix is actually being generated from Saturn. That's what the rings are.
Yeah.
I've been reading about and watching a video of actually a man who's quite elderly now called Berggren, who was an insider in America in these space projects and what have you, who says that he's written books about it. He's seen craft which seem, again, the word again, seem to take an electromagnetic form, which are spinning around the rings of Saturn and building them. Something's coming out of them, which is manifesting as the rings of Saturn. Because when you look at the ancient accounts of Saturn, which seems to have been much closer to the Earth at one point, it's a big story. Velikovsky and all these people that talk about great cataclysmic changes in the solar system, I think, are absolutely right. So Saturn was much more focused on in the ancient world. I never had rings. Well, it's got rings now, obviously, and I say that that's a form of broadcasting system, which actually we're picking up. For me, I go into this in detail in the books, and I will at Wembley. All this new stuff I'm going to do at Wembley. The genetic manipulation of humanity, which is talked about by all the ancient societies, was to tune human DNA, which is a receiver transmission system, into this matrix frequency. And so we're picking up this fake reality. And this band of this matrix operates in the frequency band of what I call body-mind. That's the human body and the lower auric field. And if you are only perceiving, if your point of attention is only in that level of perception, then you're in the matrix and you're of the matrix. But when you start to open your mind and expand into a greater consciousness beyond that, you go beyond the matrix. And at that point, you start to see things because you've got a much more expanded point of attention. So you're in this world, yes, and you're interacting with it and you're seeing everything everyone else does, but you're seeing it from another perspective because you are looking at it from a higher level of awareness that is beyond the matrix. You're looking in to a certain extent, not just being in and therefore being confused by where am I, what's going on. And, I saw over the years this intense obsession, you're right, with Saturn symbolism. People like Jordan Maxwell in America have talked extensively about all this. My question, however, was why? What's the next stage of, yes, we can see, why? What is the obsession with Saturn? Because you look at the religions, you'll see Saturn symbolism all over them. Yep. You go to the secret societies like the Freemasons, Saturn symbolism all over them. You go into Satanism, Saturn symbolism. You go into the flag of Israel, for instance, and the very name Rothschild. Rothschild comes from the German red shield, and the red shield referred to a red six-pointed star on the Rothschild's house in Frankfurt, and the red Satanism, six-pointed star, is the symbol of Saturn. Not just the red one, that's a more extreme version, but the six-pointed star is a symbol of Saturn. So the very name Rothschild, Red Shield, comes from a symbol of Saturn. And when the Rothschilds then moved their operation, not for the benefit of Jewish people, for the benefit of their agenda, into Israel, they put the six-pointed star on the flag of Israel. And then you look at the Pope. I was looking at a picture of him today. I mean, I try not to, but sometimes I have to in the name of research. And he's got this big mitre on, which is just a fish head hat, which the old fish god worshipping priests in Mesopotamia used to wear. And the Archbishop of Canterbury wears it as well. But on the side of this mitre is a six-pointed star, blatantly. You look at the so-called seal of Saturn, esoterically, which goes back into the ancient world, and it is the compass of Freemasonry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and then you've got the cube you talk about, which I've talked about in the last book, and that's another thing. when they go to Mecca in their millions, and they go to the Kaaba, which this cube, Kaaba means cube, and they go on their Hajj, their ritual, and they're told when they get there that they must pray around the Kaaba in concentric circles. It's hilarious when you see a picture, because it's the rings of Saturn you're looking at with the Kaaba in the middle. And then they have to walk 7 times around the Kaaba. And in Hinduism, they walk the other way around their temples. Mm-hmm. And when millions of people are walking in unison around that Kaaba, that focus of satanic, Saturnic energy, they create a massive electromagnetic motor. As the magnetic fields of the people walk through, interact, and fire up the magnetic field of the mosque in Mecca. This is where it's happening all the time, and Saturn is absolutely at the heart of it. Saturn is it's actually a sun, but they call it a planet. It's the sun planet of the courts, of authority, of banking, of government, of science.
Well, the legal system brought to us, the maritime law legal system brought to us by the Phoenicians, which were Saturn worshippers. It seems, and the Phoenicians were a high priest class that, it seems that a lot of the mystery school religions come from them. So it does all seem like it's completely all the major religions, all the spiritual meccas, they've all got these people that are pushing this Saturn worship through the religion, so that it does seem to be.
You went to James went off. I couldn't make it, unfortunately. James went off to Stonehenge and had a massive shock when he saw this giant,
like a Nephilim. I think it's supposed to be some Aztec priest,
but it was lit up in purple.
It was lit up in purple, which is the color of the Phoenicians. And he had the sign of Saturn on his neck, and cubes and purple lights everywhere. And I was just like, hell, But yeah, it does. When your eyes are awake to certain symbolism, it does seem to be that they're obsessing about it. I mean, even going from, I think, September 9th, footage from the Twin Towers, they were flying the Saturn blimp around around the Twin Towers, and it's something that you wouldn't click in until you realize just how big Saturn is.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, like if that was all sort of staged, because it is all manipulation of this matrix that we're in, it seems.
Honestly, mate, everything these people do is ritual, everything. I mean, this is why you've got the royal family go to the same palaces at the same time every year. It's all ritual. You look at the Jewish religion. I mean, I don't think they can go 5 minutes without having to do something that the law tells them they've got to do. It's their whole lives are ritual. You look at the Christian religion, ritual. Islamic religion, ritual. I mean, 5 times a day, is it? All those Muslims all over the world kneel and face Mecca. What are they doing? They're making an energetic connection to the Kaaba. Yeah. I mean, it's so obvious. So when I spoke earlier, when we were doing the interview with Brian Gerrish, and I was talking about how Satanism and secret societies and religion and politics are all aspects of the same thing. Well, Saturn worship is that same thing, and that which goes with it.